Hello, good morning.
Good morning, doctor. Uh,
Thank you.
hearing
Now,
that.
thank you. Uh, okay, this is chapter 8 actually. I rearranged it. Welcome again to our JS class. Today, our topic is about the presentation or the layout of the JS data. How we can present the JS data for reporting or generating posters or targeting some audience. So what is the layout? What is the map design and presentation? We will see today what is that. So today I'm going to explain some basic cartographic concepts here, how to generate the maps in ArcMap as a layout design and the printing, some issues relevant to the printing and plotting in ArcMap and also in Python. So as we know, previously we like maybe mentioned about what is map, what is how we can define the map, and we define it as a diagrammatical or symbolic or colored representation of an area of land or sea showing physical features, cities, or so it's a representation. It's representing the reality by symbols, whether by point symbols, line, and polygon symbols. So today we will deal with the map as a model to represent. Actually, the usage of model little confusing, but the word model here, how we can model the idea, how we can represent the idea from the theory, from the reality to the poster. We will see that. Uh, Map objectives. Actually, whatever you see, the type of map, different content of maps at the end, each map have an objective, have a target, have an audience. So before designing your map, you should stay it or write your map objective. Otherwise, your map will not have a real meaning. So any map supposed to have an objective, and I prefer to represent it by a title or direct objective on to write it. Some of the objectives could be directly appear the deal. Some of the objectives could be like a second, like kind of benefits from the maps. Like for example, some benefits from the maps, some why we are generating the maps to record and store information. So sometimes this is our objective to save the information somewhere and keep it stored somewhere on like a specific like page or plate. Sometimes the objective could be to analyze the locational distribution and the spatial pattern. Sometimes the objective could be communication between the like some like the government and the population. Sometimes we generate the maps to share some information or highlight relationship, sometimes to illustrate or analyze the data or the information. Sometimes we generate the maps to support the decision making for the government, as we did in the last week with the machine learning. We have multiple factors affecting the cartographic design of the map. We mentioned the objective, we have also the audience, the reality, the scale, the need to generalize the model of the use and the technical limits. So each factor of these controlling the content of the map and based on different, for example, objectives or audience, we will totally change the the content of the map. Or if for example, if the scale differ from place to place, at that case, maybe the structure of the data will be totally changed, because we cannot like show very detailed content in small scale for a large area. It will be almost impossible. We will see slowly how this kind of stuff will change and affect the design of the map. For example, if the audience of the map that we are targeting is a student, usually we will focus on presenting very simple content and color it in a very attractive way. While if we are talking about topographic engineers, we will focus there on the informations, measurements, and the accuracy of the map. If the audience, as we said, is the students in the schools, we will focus on only in the like general details, the colors, and locations, general locations of the cities, or like, for example, the countries. Well, if we are targeting the infrastructure engineer, yes, we will focus there on the accuracy, the quality of the data, the details, the metadata, the coordinates, and so on. So, depend on the audience, we will design and make the objective of the map totally different. Let's see. For example, in case of the map scale, in the case of the map scale, and for example, for the river, if we are dealing with large scale mean covering a small area, so the details of the features will be large. So in this case, the river will be represented as a polygon, as an area. While in the small scales, the details will be very small and the scale will be big. So in this case, we will have a line river without any details. It's just a line. If we are taking a look from far away, covering very large area. So in the case of the city, in some of the map scales, we will represent the city as a polygon, or represent it as a dot if we are dealing with small scales that covering large areas with less details. So if the map scale is small or large, the details, the content will be totally different. In this slide, if we are moving from the small scale to the large scale, if we are moving from the small scale to the larger scale, as you see here, in the large scale maps, we will have less area, more details, less generalization, and less classification. A small number of classes you will have in the map. While in the small scale maps, you will cover more area, like instead of only covering one neighborhood in Karabuk, maybe you will cover the entire national border of Turkey. Yeah. You will have less details, more generalization, and more classification, or more classes, classes. So as you see here, this is the main differences between the large scales and small scale if we are depend on the objective. So if your objective targeting larger scales, then you will have less generalization, less area, more detail. the map is being actually used as a way for the communication. It's a language, communication language between different people, between the reality and the specialist, between different specialists. It's a language, a communication language between the cartographer or the GIS specialist and the map reader. Imagine that we have here map user or map reader and the GIS specialist. Usually the GIS specialist or the cartographer is a like very experienced, very rich in term of the tools, the details, and the meaning of each symbol, term, and so on. While the normal users, the end users, the map readers cannot comprehend or understand everything there. So our role here to make the maps simple to read, simple to understand, easy to read, easy to understand. Usually here, the cartographer recognize, select, classify, simplify, and symbolize the map, designing the maps. So the map will be easy for the map user or the end user to read it, analyze it, interpret it, or explain it. So we can take a look to the maps here as a communication language between the specialist and the recording, okay, between the specialist and the end users. Previously, actually, here we talked about different type of maps, like for example, including the general maps or the basic maps, like what we have here in the like from Google Maps. This is we call it basic maps. That we use it to for general usage, to do the navigation, to do the what we call it, to explore the locations, the positions, and we have like for example, and in this case we prefer to have interactive maps to do the like to apply different functions like the zoom in, the zoom out, the search, and this kind of thing, even the measuring distances, areas, and so on. We also have the thematic maps. Thematic maps mean that each map having a topic. Each map having a topic. For example, this map showing the risk. Like for example, usually I forget the name in Turkish actually. Uh, Usually the meteorology centers publish this kind of maps to show where is the
Hello, Professor. Can you hear us? We can't hear your voice.
I think I this is very funny actually. I got muted here. Thank you, brother,
For
for
the,
mentioning.
for this reason, why I thought you gave us just some rest or something like that because the screen was moving and no one that
No,
I was hearing.
sorry. So what is the last thing that you receive it from this slide?
Yes, I think
Okay,
I'm
let
not
me.
sure exactly which page exactly.
Okay. Right. To the maybe to this place. Okay. Again, as we mentioned about the maps, maps are like a kind of communication language. Communication language between different, like, between the map designers or cartographers or GIS specialists and end users. So the main focus here, like, this is kind of philosophy of the map design that you need to consider it. One of the basics in the philosophy that you should focus on how the reader can quickly and easily distinguish and understand and read the geographic content in that map. So, like in this way, so good colors, good symbols, and good writing on the map help the reader to quickly and easily understand, distinguish the geographical content of the maps. Among also the map philosophy of and map design, that's depend on your target, uh, whether your target is global, national, local. You should use the standard colors, shade pattern, and text and symbols. Why? Because again, it's a communication language. If you are targeting the global level, global audience, then you should use a standard symbols and pattern, shade pattern, color schemas. Some of the cartographic centers publishing a kind of guidelines or standards for the colors. So in this case, around the world, if everyone, like if anyone is reading your map, he will understand the content that you are presenting. Otherwise, like especially locally, the people will face difficulty to interpret or explain or understand the content that you are presenting. So this is among the philosophy of your map that you should use the standard colors, the shade pattern, and the text according to the standard to make the, the the usage and reading of the maps are easier and so on. Okay. Here we have two different maps, and as you see here, the title is same. This is Black Heritage Trail, and this is Black Heritage Trail. We have the same lines, but here we have highlights. Like here they are saying poor map design. This is good design. Why? If you will take a look to the title, they are highlighting the title by making the main title is or the topic larger. So the area, the name of the area is not like that important compared with the topic of the map. So I guess the topic of, or like we can say that the topic of this map is showing the trail, this line. So whenever you as a map reader will take a look to the map, your eyes must be attracted by the objective of the map that the map designed for it. So if we are designing a map to show the trail, the specific line in the map, our eyes directly must be attracted by that line. Otherwise, your map failed to show the geographic content. So in the first look of map reader, whose of eyes focus will go to most highlighted elements. This is some details about these two maps. So here, for example, in the Boer design, title suggests country rather than trail as a primary subject of the map. This is here hard to figure out where is the trail is. Cities and roads are along trails not visually different from other cities and roads. While in here, see, the cities around the trails are more highlighted compared with other faraway cities. Little visual depth to map. Trail is not visually prominent. While in the good map, the title suggests the topic of the primary subject of the map is highlighted. This is like here easy to see the trail. Cities and roads along trail are visually prominent. And here we have a meaningful visual depth to the map. The trail is visually presented. So it's a small technical issue, but like uh, like make a huge difference between for the readers to easily and quickly understand and get the meaning of the target of the map. So it's a philosophy. Even some people call it as a like kind of moda. It's a, like a what is the name? Like a it's a, like a style. Uh, although like everyone could have a different explanation, but we have a kind of general ideas that always focus on how to easily represent uh, the maps to easily and quickly understand it. Here again, comparison between the poor and good layout. In the poor layout, for example, I cannot understand here what is the target directly. I need to search. See, I need to search. While in here, the title or the objective of the map is clear and directly I can see on the top of the map. While in here, I need to find where is the title. Where is the title? Beside, as you see here, we have the north arrow. We have the north arrow is very big. So this is the biggest element in the map. While north arrow is not that important compared with the content or the subject of the map, the object, sorry, the target of the map. So this is not the topic of the map to show a very large north arrow of the map. We can keep it somewhere. Even the some like scholars now they have a different philosophy that we should hide it. If your map by default is shown directed on the north. So by default, by using the coordinate systems, all our maps is directed to the north, except if you rotate the map, you must actually add the north arrow. Otherwise, by default, see here, the good layout, the good design doesn't have a north arrow. Why? Because by default, it's toward the north. Here, the map shows also the details of the projection or the coordinate are not like very clear. The scale bar or the map scale is not like a little bit confusing. Some numbers are up, some numbers are down. The legend of the map show numbers, but what is the meaning of this one? It's not clear. So all this kind of things make huge differences in understanding the map. While here the legend that representing the colors or the grades of the gray color here are being like explained that each color degree representing 1,000% for each polygon. Okay. Actually, today maybe this is the first time that I'm not going to explain in ArcMap the detailed map design or layout, but I want to highlight it quickly, and I will attach one video for this issue. In ArcMap, if we want to do like previously we learned how we can collect the data, but now I want to present that data for reporting, for the like thesis, for make a poster and so on. The first step here that you need to define the page and print setup. Like for example, if my target to plot a map on letter, letter is 8.5 inch by 11. If I want to plot it on A4, A0, A1, or even larger, like 5 meter by 3 meter. So first step, you must specify the paper or the map page size. Map page size, what is the size that you are going to print on it? Second, you need to add all the basic elements of the map composition, including the title. This is very basic. You should add all of them. Title, north arrow, the scale bar or the map scale, the legend, and the map body. And in the map body, you should highlight the main topic. Like for example, this is a thematic map showing the density per square kilometer. So you should highlight the density of the population, not the distribution of the road. See here, there is no road. There is no like any other details. Focus on your target. Focus and present your target. In ArcMap, you will find a lot of details relevant to the elements, but this is the basic elements. This is the basic elements. Sometimes we added like the grid on the map to show the coordinates. Sometimes we added the locator map. Like locator map is another map in the corner showing the location of this map according to the larger or the bigger area. For example, this area, Tasmania. Tasmania is a very small island in the southern east part of Australia. So this location or locator map showing where is this plate appearing relevant, like for example, to larger area. For example, in here we previously show this. This is the elevation map of Karabukh, and this is the locator map showing the location of Karabukh according to the international border of Turkey. This is the locator map. This is the legend. You can insert sometimes some pictures. You can insert some details about the metadata. There is also the net line. Net line is the external border of the map, the final external border of the map. And this is the main data frame of the map. What else? In ArcMap, we have the insert menu. You can insert all of these elements, including the title, extra text, dynamic text from the attribute table, the legend, and all this stuff. If you will type map layouts, map design in Google photo, you will find, or Google Images, you will find a huge amount of templates that you can learn from it. And again, this is like a design. This is not a science. Okay, I'm explaining the philosophy, the basic of this topic, but at the end, this is kind of art. Art, how we can present our content for the audience in a very nice way. Think in this way. Okay. Sometime one of the tricks that we follow, for example, one of the best basic maps actually is Google Maps. So Google have a unique design for their maps that we could use it. We could use it. Or, example, from the layers, we can use the terrain one. More. For example, this is the OpenStreetMap showing the details of like the basic map of Turkey. So like sometimes, you know, it's very difficult to arrange and select the colors, select the colors. What we do in this case, we go and pick up the degree of the color by using, for example, the color picker tool. Color picker tool. Hopefully that it will work in my device this time. Like for example, not in this way. Probably this could work. Okay. For example, if I want to pick up this color code, you could use this kind of tools. Let me choose another method. I had one tool, but because of the update issue, I remove it. Then okay. So as you see here, for example, if I want to exactly color my map to be exactly similar to this degree of this color, you can choose this kind or work with this kind of color picker to pick up the color code. For example, pick color, click on here. Once you click here, you will get the RGB code. So in this case, you will go see. If I want to color the Karabukh province border using the same color that I pick up from this map, you need to fill this code to ArcMap. So you can come from here, for example, click on the color of the layer. Then from the fill color properties, more color, you can go change the color schema depend on the system that you deal with it here. Is it like the HSV, CMYK, or RGB? If you are dealing with RGB, you can type or write the same RGB red, green, blue gradual color. So 235, 218, and here 232 from here. Okay, okay. We got the same color from this map to here. So this is one of the tricks that you could follow it to get the degree of the color and use the standard colors for specific classes in the map. And you can check the standards also. Sometimes they publish the RGB codes for the colors for specific features or elements in the maps, or from the atlas. Like sometimes some like organization publish very nice atlas, so you could see, for example, in this way, some people like some centers publishing the style of the see, and sometimes they publish it with RGB codes. See, in this way, they publish it in this way as a RGB values. As a RGB values, even you can automatically color it using this tabular data. I'm going to share with you previously recorded video that explain the manual side of ArcMap to present and generate this kind of maps. So in the video, you will be able to generate this kind of maps and added the title, the north arrow, the colors, the locator maps, and the metadata, the text, the legend, the scale bar, all these details. And beside the coordinates, the grid also, the net line around the the map, the internal boundary, this kind of dotted lines, highlighted red polygons, all this stuff you will find it in that video. But today I'm going to explain the same concept with Python after the break. Give me like 10 minutes break, please. So please take a 10 minutes break before we continue. Okay, again, let we continue our topic here. As you see here, this is, we have in ArcMap these two layers. I will share it with you. These two layers containing the border of, or the boundary of Karabukh state beside the elevation layer as a TIFF. So we have raster layer and also vector layer. Instead of like going and making the layout view from here and inserting all these map elements manually from ArcGIS or ArcMap, although I'm going to share the video, but this time I will prefer for you as a computer engineer to deal with the codes to plot the maps. So for example, this is one example from the maps that we could plot it. So this is the Python output, and this is the ArcGIS output. Although this one is more professional, but if you will go for more detailed details with Python, yes, you will like plot more nice professional plot and one in Python. The good part here, once you write the code, you can easily run it again and again, while the manual work is very like hectic. The issue here that you will install and deal with the raster to read the raster data, GeoPandas to read the vector data, Matplotlib scale bar to download it. And here we are importing them, rasterio, GeoPandas, Matplot. From the rasterio, importing the show, the mask functions, and JSON. In here, I'm using the GeoPandas library read files to read the shape file directly, and you need to upload it in here. So this is the Python layout data. You could use it. Okay. We can import this value data. So we will read here the shape file and plot it. To plot this one, and yes, also the DEM, digital elevation model, TIFF file using the rasterio to read it, then plot it using the Matplot or VLT make subplot with size 10 by 8. Then use the show function imported from rasterio show to show the output image. And as you see here, we are maintaining the transformers, mean the coordinates. This is the Karabukh boundary to plot it also. So here we are like plotting both of them, the boundary and the raster, but although the raster is not like appearing very well, in here we are generating again a figure. Then we are using the mshow function for better visualization of the raster data. We have presenting better presenting of color bar. As you see here, we don't have the color bar in the right side. So for example, using matplot function from library using color bar function, and here you are defining the specification of the color bar. Okay. Here is the details of the north arrow also. North arrow with an letter. This is the coordinate of the north arrow. We can define it and rearrange it. If we want to keep it on the left side, yes, we can keep it. Right side, the bottom, top. Here also we added again the more details about the scale bar. Scale bar, this is the color bar and this is scale bar. Scale bar is the map scale actually coming as a bar, not as like numbers, which is more accurate actually, because if you stretching the map, that bar will be stretched and will be affected with the stretch percentage equally, and will maintain the correct percentage between the map and the written bar or the drawn bar. Here is some attribute about the map. So for example, we wrote this, the projection is this coordinate and data source is SRTM, and it's in the center, like in the bottom center of the map. And at the end, we are saving the plot here as a image. So this is one easy way to plot the layout and keep and maintain all the concepts, philosophy of the map. The good part here that you can use the AI to develop this kind of codes for better visualization. So instead of work manually, you can use the AI to reflect all these concepts and added all these locator maps, net lines, all the elements on the map itself easily. So let me stop here, stop the recording and take the Yoklama.